talk about radical vulnerability. We just did another video on it. I want to touch on it here from a different point of view, give you more ways to think about it. So, what does it mean to be radically vulnerable? It does not mean you have to, when you meet somebody, tell them all your flaws and about all the bad experiences that you've ever had in your life. And then they share all the bad experiences they've had in their life. This is not a good foundation for getting to know somebody. It's just as skewed as if all you talked about were the ways you're perfect. Neither of them are perfections, are flaws, or vulnerabilities. They're all part of who we are. And we want to share with people that we might want to bring in close to us that a balanced picture, some of this and some of that, and make room for them to show up with some of this and some of that, the struggles as well as the successes and everything in between. And there are lots of other feelings that are in between. So what it means to share your vulnerability, it means to be willing to say, I don't know, or I don't know the answer to that, or I'm kind of lost, or I find this rather confusing. Do you try to be relatable, or do you try more to give an honest picture of yourself? And in that, people relate. When you share, I found that really confusing, or I had a hard time with that, I was lost, I didn't know how to approach it. The other person feels like they're with a kindred spirit, unless they need to be perfect all the time and their ego needs to run things all the time. And then they use that against you or they belittle you for it. But very often when we share the things that we are working on, ways we're growing, that makes room for other people to connect with us in that way. None of us has to be perfect. And it becomes clear that you can share something, they can share something, and it isn't commiserating about the worst things that happen. Very often in a new relationship, people will start by talking about all their traumas, and that's something you can do. But what usually happens then is you don't get to see that rest of the person, and they don't get to see the rest of you. To share about something bad that happened to us, a trauma, and how we've come to understand it, and how that has helped us grow to be the person that we are. That's a different conversation than this bad thing that happened to me and that bad thing, poor me. So being able to share on that level, and the other person too, I've struggled with this, I'm in a good place now, or this, I felt lost and confused. I'm still kind of lost and confused. Do you have any thoughts about that? They can share where they're lost and confused too. And you have the beginnings of a relationship that's authentic and that is based on radical vulnerability. What's the benefit to relating that way? When you just pretend and show the best parts of you, the parts you feel most proud of, or the parts of you that feel are most socially acceptable, what you're introducing someone to is a false self. When you do that, you are also inviting the other person to share their false self. This is me, I'm perfect. They tell you how great they are. That isn't a real picture of either of you. We have our strengths, we have our vulnerabilities. So to be able to share all of that, somebody can know your real self and you can get to know their real self. What a great foundation for trust and safety and enjoyment together over the course of a friendship or a romantic relationship. So one of the benefits to this is that You can put down the mask. It's exhausting carrying it around. It leaves you feeling kind of empty at the end of the day. The mask is heavy. Lay it down. Share yourself. Successes, failures, doubts, questions, what the journey is like. Not just the journey that you got to, but the journey how you got there. When I meet people, I may ask them what they do for work or what they study or what do they do that brings them a lot of joy, if the hobby, whatever it is, doesn't matter. They tell me what it is. And I can say, oh, tell me more about that. I'm really interested. But actually, my favorite question is, how did you come to do that? Then they stop for a minute and they go inside and they can share with you how they got there, why they chose that, what that thing spoke to in them, that excited them, that brought value to them. So how did you get into that? I'd be interested to hear. So have you had your own battles with struggling with the mask that you show to everyone? What does your mask look like? And maybe even more importantly, if you were to lay the mask down for a moment, what would people see? The thing is, if you show that part of you, the vulnerable part of you, you find out who's on the other end of the conversation. If it's somebody who just wants a superficial, positive only connection, then you will see that because they won't be accepting or joining you in talking about all the aspects of life, the great stuff, the hard stuff, the feeling lost and confused. So putting that mask down, you have a chance to destroy shame, the shame that has kept the inside of you so secret. You share it and find out that the other person can relate, or they really respect you for having gone through that. Shame gets left by the wayside, your false self gets left by the wayside, and hopefully radical vulnerability will lead to radical intimacy. Thanks for coming today. I'll talk about radical intimacy in another video shortly here. Please go back. I have over 50 videos, all on different subjects. Each one is designed to give you a little piece of understanding, of wisdom to respond to something you need. And once again, if there are any questions that you would like me to answer, please put them in the comments. And if I can answer it in one of the videos, I will be happy to do that. Thanks for coming today, guys. See you soon.